So, out of the 3 articles that we had, which were Consider the Lobster by David Foster Wallace, Facing the Transitorness of Existence by Viktor Frankl, and The Invisible and Voiceless, The Plight of the Undocumented Immigrant in America, I chose to do Viktor Frankl's Facing the Transitions of Existence. So, the whole gist of this little article is how Viktor Frankl had survived the Holocaust and wondering how life was possible and telling his story. So he starts off with a series of questions, and some of them really spoke to me as, how is it possible to say yes to life in spite of death? We don't think about it, but we always want to bring new people into this world. We don't think about death. We only think about the happy lives they're going to live. We don't think of how one day everyone does die. We try to shy away from that. We don't think about it. We don't want to hear it. And he says, we do an injustice to death by believing that it deprives and robs life meaning away, but rather it gives meaning to life. If we have something to live for and we all have an end date, it gives us like meaning to our lives. If we were immortal, we would have no purpose, honestly. We would just be here doing the same things every day, just existing at this point. But the fact that we do have an end date just signifies how much meaning life can be, even if it's the simplest of things. And people always talk about how you need to live in the moment and enjoy life and X, Y, and Z. And he says this: live as if you were living for the second time, and as if you acted the first time as wrongly as you were about to act now. So what he's saying by this, he wants you to live, not carefree, but he wants you to live and know what you're doing. He wants you to be proud of who you are, is how I'm taking this. Because yeah, we all make mistakes, it happens, but he wants you to live life every single day as if it was your last, and you live how you want. And he brings in a famous saying by Hillel, starting with the words, if I'm not doing it, who will do it? And if I don't do it right now, when shall I do it? So, we're never guaranteed a tomorrow. And that's something we all don't like to think about. Like, I went to bed last night. Anything could happen in my sleep. I did take medication. I took a right amount, but anything could happen. We are never guaranteed every second of tomorrow. That's why you see most people pray when they wake up, thanking God that they made it through the night, because they don't take life for granted, and we all shouldn't. We're not guaranteed tomorrow. We're not guaranteed any day of the year. It's whether we put ourselves out there and we know we're gonna do it. And what Hillel says by this is, if I'm not doing it, then who is gonna do it? Because I'm the only one who knows what to do for this. Who else is going to do it? And when are they going to do it? When am I going to do it? So there's this saying. It's in a different language. I don't understand what language it is. But the way the author transcribed it, what has passed has gone, and what is past will come. So what is past, meaning is past you, has gone. It's already done, decisions are made, everything. But what is past will come. Your life always seems to come full circle. I've had things that I was friends with people I'm not now, and now I'm friends with them again. It's full circle. Things happen. I don't know, I've lived a little full circle a few times. And he also says, I think we're not justified to draw conclusions from the durations of anyone's life about its meaningfulness. Everyone's life is different. Just because they're not a celebrity or a rock star or artist, someone famous does not mean it was not meaningful. Relating back to a different article, totally off topic, that I just currently read for a different class, it talks about physician assisting suicide. Now, there's a note part of the article that says that's like the weak way out, like you don't want to live. That's not true. If you're in pain and you're suffering and there's no hope for you anymore, you personally can make that decision. And there are 5 states that it is somewhat legal to do it. Like, I believe if I was in pain and I was not going to get any better, why should people see me suffer? Why should I feel that suffering when I can go to a different place and not feel anything at all? Now, speaking to meaningfulness, people, like let's say homeless people, half of them were veterans. Their lives were meaningful. They're half the reason we get to live in a free country today. And they're out on the streets wondering where they're going to be tomorrow. And no matter how long your life was lived, whether you were a 20-year-old who passed away or a 90-year-old passed away, your life was just as meaningful as mine or yours. End of story. Everyone here was here for a purpose, and it's just as meaningful. So, another statement in the book. Life can never be an end itself, and that is a reproduction can never be meaning. Rather, it acquires meaning from other, non-biological frames of reference from sources that necessarily lie beyond itself. So, life can never end itself. Our lives may end, but there are other lives going on around us, which is how I'm taking this. But just because one does not, just because one ends does not mean the others end also. Like, if I pass away, it doesn't mean my mother's life, my father's life, my brother's life, any other extended family's life ends because I'm gone. If anything, it means they carry on. I may not be an heir to one day bury my parents, but that's just how life goes sometimes. I've seen and been to many funerals that the parents have had to bury their own children. And a little motivation at the end of this. The author says the only way to endure life is always to have a task to complete. And we don't think about it. We always do have a task to complete on a daily that keeps us going and not be couch potatoes or wondering for our lives, like, what am I going to do now? Like, today, I'm doing this vlog. Later, I'm going to go hang out with some friends, and I have to clean my house. Those are tasks that need to be done, and they will get done. They give me something to do. In the long run of giving tasks to do, I'm in college. I'm a collegiate athlete. I want to finish my 4-year degree, go to PT school, or if soccer takes me further, then go further. From all this, you may see that not only suffering but also dying offers meaning potential. Death brings people together. End of story. It brings people together. It's sad to say that, but it does. And a lot of us, when we see older people who are going to pass, we start to pity them. And the author says there's no need to pity them. Just because they've lived their life and their time is almost coming, they probably lived a better life than you have right now. You know? So, in the article, Dr. Frankl also interviews this patient that ends up dying 2 months after the interview. And her last words to the doctor were, "My life is a monument." So Professor Frankl said to the whole audience, to all of the students in the lecture hall, my life was not in vain. Meaning I lived a good life and I lived it for a purpose. And that's what she wanted to take out of this.